Hi everyone, this is Marie Blue Angel, and I am back with My Husband is a Stranger, the demo. Reminder from last time, if you haven't caught up, we are on day 3, which is a little confusing because we started on day 1, so effectively this is the second day that we get to see. Um, on the first day slash day 2, we got to see a little bit of context for where we as a character are and how that relates to our husband Morgan. Apparently, we fought with him and we live on an island, and now it seems like he isn't our husband, in that he's been acting a little strange. Or maybe we are. I don't know. We'll see. Let's just get into it. Despite the protests of my lingering headache, I force my eyes to open. I'm laying on the couch again. The pillow has fallen onto the floor, and the blanket also started to make its escape. I struggle onto my elbows, wincing at the throbbing pain in my head. Okay, we're waking up with another headache. The last thing I remembered was standing up in front of the bathroom talking to my husband. He told me something, and then I woke up. I guess that I must have gone back to the couch and fallen asleep. Yeah, last time we saw him, and he had a very creepy smile about him, and I don't know if that was, because we woke up in the middle of the night or something else is going on. Anyways, the sound of the toaster echoes from behind me. You look like the husband, I guess. Anyways, I'm suspicious of you, sir. I stagger to my feet and make my way to the kitchen. Morgan is standing at the counter, sliding a couple freshly toasted slices of bread onto plates. Ooh, I love toast for breakfast. He smiles when he sees me. He's way too cute. Ugh. Good morning. Good morning. The greeting stumbles out in a sleepy slur. What time is it? 8, I think. I wince. How long did I sleep? 12, 14 hours? He neatly lines up the toast on a plate. How are you feeling today? Do you think you can eat? I'm feeling better. I can eat. I'm glad. Why don't you get cleaned up while I finish this? I nod and retreat to my room. By the time I return to the kitchen, the food is already sitting on the table. When he sees me, Morgan hurriedly finishes drying the dishes and sits down so we can eat. My eyes widen when I see the dark liquid in his cup. My husband was never a fan of coffee, especially not black coffee. His drink of choice is tea, usually tempered with a bit of milk. Who is this man? No one's forcing you to have coffee. Did we run out of tea? He must not have slept well tonight, or last night. So you have coffee sometimes. It's not that crazy. Okay. My plate has a heap of eggs scrambled with onions, peppers, mushrooms, and sausages. A slice of toast cut into neat triangles is arranged on the opposite side. Ooh. The steam rising from the food makes my mouth water. I can only hope that I won't vomit it all up like I did last time. By the way, I'm still worried about the boat. Did you call? Yeah, apparently it'll be storming on and off for a while. They won't be able to send anyone for a week at least. A week? I balk. I know, but there's not much we can do about it. As much as I hate to admit it, I have to agree. I can't ask someone to risk life and limb to come to us in such turbulent weather. I sigh and start eating my scramble. Well, a week is a while, for sure. But I guess it's not unreasonable for that to be the timeline. But I guess, given the context of the game's timeline, I am concerned. But, As I chew a mushroom, my eyes wander to my husband. That's strange. I've always found something mysteriously entrancing about the way that Morgan prepares his toast. What kind of jam is this? First, he carefully scrapes on a thin layer of butter as if he's priming a canvas. Next, he adds a dollop of marmalade. His movements are meticulous and delicate as he smooths the orange jelly. He moves like he's painting, sweeping the knife over the bread with the grace of a brush. By the end, the toast glistens with a perfectly even layer of marmalade, like a fine coat of glass. He holds it up, checking it, before taking a small bite from one of the corners. It's such a normal, boring thing, yet it's one of the reasons I love him. That strange, overly precise way that he makes his toast. However, something is different this time. The order and ingredients are the same, a pat of butter, then some marmalade, but there's something off about the way that he moves. The knife sweeps across the bread in broad, swift strokes, as if he's in a rush and just wants to get the job done. When he's finished, the butter has mainly been smeared around the center, with none making it to the sides, and the layer of marmalade is too thick in some places and too thin in others. There's something off about it. I agree. Something about the lumpy mass of orange jelly sends a prickle up my spine. I almost blurt out, "Why are you spreading it like that?" before I catch myself. No, stop being silly. Why are you being so critical of the way that Morgan prepares his toast? I mean, honestly, this is where you come up with the questions that seem, not suspicious, innocuous, but you're checking to see if your husband is an imposter. Because I would be very thrown off about that. Like, obviously, there's no right way to prepare your toast and whatever. Like, she just described how he usually does it, but it's really weird that he's not doing it in that particular way. I think it's fair to ask if something has happened. Also, given that he's drinking coffee, he usually doesn't drink coffee, he drinks tea. And then, I mean, I know she doesn't really think, well, our character doesn't really think much of last night, but it was creepy as hell. So, we'll see. However, even if I stifle that question, another one bubbles in the back of my thoughts. What were you doing last night? Morgan takes a sip of his coffee. What are you talking about? I saw you last night. You were in the bathroom. Oh, I probably went to the bathroom last night. No, that's not what I meant. You were standing in there doing something. I saw you and talked to you. I think I asked what you were doing, but I don't remember what you said. My husband takes another small bite of his toast. Some of the generously dispensed marmalade dribbles onto his plate. He chews thoughtfully. I didn't talk to you last night after you went to bed. Maybe you were dreaming. You were pretty feverish. But I want to press the issue. I wasn't sleeping. At the very least, I can differentiate dreams from reality. I talked to you. Morgan exhales heavily. All right, I probably used the bathroom in the middle of the night. Maybe I talked to you. I honestly don't remember. I must have been half asleep. Even if I did, I can't see how it's important. We're not asking the right questions about why are you making your toast like that. I pursed my lips. I can't argue with that. I was simply curious. I mean, it's also fair to be curious, even in this. Do we know? Like, I know we know, like, as the audience, something's weird. Is it just like the story is, it's not, well, the husband is not, there's nothing super sinister in the fact, like, there's nothing, like, supernatural going on. But it could be that he's changing. Like, someone you once knew is changing in a way that, like, is very abrupt. Which is, like, fair, people change and things, but maybe that's what I've been thinking about the title and everything. Maybe truly it's just your husband, this person's husband just started becoming a stranger to them. Anyways, we'll see. Why did I even ask that anyway? Who asked people what they were doing in the bathroom of all places? There's clearly only one reason a person would go to the toilet. Morgan must think I'm out of my mind. I'm sorry. It was a weird question. My husband can't help suppress a smile. It's all right. It was funny, actually. Okay. After breakfast, I retreat to my bedroom to write, or to try writing at least. I manage to squeeze out 200 haphazard words, but when I come back to my computer in the early afternoon, the text looks like children's scribble on the page. Once I finish mashing the delete key, I rest my forehead on the desk. The chilly sunlight leaking through the window feels cold on my skin. My debut novel, Moon Crossing, centered around Lucy, a young girl who hailed from a futuristic fantasy world. She was an imaginative youth who frequently dreamed about traveling back in time to the ages where people could become heroes and legends. Okay, so that's a story that when we were in high school 12 years ago, we're trying to write, and that we kind of first connected with Morgan about. Cool. One day, she unexpectedly encountered a shadowy figure who called himself the Shade. The mysterious man gave her a bracelet. The trinket allowed her to travel back in time with her best friend, a boy named Alex. Upon finding herself in the past, Lucy tried to go on an adventure, inadvertently triggering a series of events that created changes in her present. After realizing her error, she and Alex proceeded to travel back and forth between the past and present, each action having disastrous consequences. But during the sixth trip, the unfortunate pair accidentally triggered a change that caused Alex to vanish from existence. Oh gosh. Desperate to get her best friend back, Lucy sought out the Shade again. When she found him, she discovered that the shadowy figure was actually a god known as the Master of Epochs. Once he had guarded the sanctity over time with the other gods, but after becoming corrupted, he sought to cause chaos throughout the timeline. Lucy tricked the Master into telling her how to return Alex, and Moon Crossing ended as they lay on the beach embracing each other, finding that the world they once knew had irreparably changed. It was a massive success. Many people praised the high concept, the interesting world building, and the poignant budding romance between the two leads. The second book was much less so. It was almost double the length of the first, and expanded the scope of the story immensely, with a much greater focus on the politics and mechanics of the time travel. I mean, I like when things like build more, but I guess it depends. Like in terms of world building, we get a lot more details, because sometimes I read a book and I'm like, ooh, like I like it, but then I have questions about the details of it, like how magic works, or in this case how time traveling works. And I really do like seeing that elaborated on, but I guess it depends on who your audience is and generally what people are looking for. But I still think it's worth writing. I knew it would be a harder sell than Moon Crossing when I released it, so I tried my best to cater to my audience tastes. Though you do have to stick to like what you want to write, I guess. Otherwise you kind of get lost, I would think, in what other people want and not what you want to say in your unique voice. Not that I write, but I could imagine. I gave fan favorite characters a greater role in the narrative. I added in twists that I thought my readers would find surprising, while getting rid of the predictable ones. But the knife in my back was the romance. The relationship between Lucy and Alex, which had garnered me so much acclaim in my debut, was a thorn. No, a dagger in my side. After seeing what changes they had wrought onto the world, Lucy and Alex joined opposing factions. Alex advocating for turning back everything to the way that it was, while Lucy wanted to preserve the new world. They parted in the opening chapters of the book, friends turned enemies. Ooh, I think that's interesting. This turn of events was unpopular. I mean, I think I get it, it's fair, but I do think it's interesting and perhaps realistic. I mean, Alex would be the product of like disappearing and coming back, of like the consequences of messing with the world. Though it seems like continuous going back and forth would just get you further away from like getting back to the old world. And I do see that, like, you know, on Lucy's side, like it's fair to want to preserve some of the new things that they've gotten in the new world and everything, but then I guess it's not like people wouldn't be nostalgic or wanting to return to some like resemblance of what they had before. It's very tricky. Anyways, talking about the fictional characters of the fictional characters here. I love it. I pinch my brow. I need the last book in the trilogy to be a success. Since I graduated from college, I've made some money off my other books. Still, we've mainly been living off the lingering royalties from Moon Crossing. The sales dwindle every year, and our savings won't last forever. I did get some money from my family, and in the worst case scenario, I could always sell this island. It's just a small rocky island, a few hours from civilization in every direction, a place that could only be attractive to the most reclusive millionaire. Still, I should be able to get something for it. But my family has owned it for years. I spend all my summers here. This island is filled with so many memories. I can't get rid of this place. In the third book, Lucy and Alex are supposed to reunite after reconciling their differences, finally realizing how much they loved each other all along. But I can't seem to write it. Every time I imagine their reunion, it feels so vague, so shapeless. And then maybe they aren't supposed to be together? I don't know. In the same original way you wanted. After being so distant, how will they even start this conversation? How will they overcome all of the hurt that they caused each other? How can they possibly go back to the way things used to be? The more I think about it, the more impossible it seems. I've been puzzling over this scene for months now. I leave and come back, hoping that fresh eyes will help, but each time I try to write the scene, it seems too unnatural, too forced. Then write the scene you want to write. I'm curious what she wants to write exactly, besides the reunion. And I delete it. Sometimes I wonder if they should reunite at all. I'm kind of hungry. I wonder what Morgan is doing now. My thoughts wander to my husband. I wonder what he's doing now. He usually spends the start of his day doing the chores, cleaning, organizing, preparing ingredients for lunch and dinner. He only starts painting once he's done with most of his other daily tasks. Has he started painting yet? Let's go check it out. Ooh, I stop in front of the door to Morgan's painting studio. It used to be one of the old bedrooms. When we moved in, we cleared it out so that he could use it for his work. I deliberately chose a spacious room with lots of natural light and a good view of the ocean. Perfect for painting. Ooh, it seems nice. We usually respect each other's private spaces, but part of me misses our days at school. I would sit in a classroom watching him paint out of the corner of my eye while I typed away on my computer. Even though we didn't talk, both too immersed in our own endeavors, I enjoyed his presence. Seeing him so focused on his art inspired me to work harder on my own. After we moved in together, sometimes I would bring my laptop over and work at a side table in the corner. Over the years, the rhythmic clack of my keyboard has become familiar background music in my husband's studio. Though I haven't done that in over a year. Is that like coinciding with her trying to write this reunion scene? Maybe. Or maybe something else has happened. I lean over and squint. Through the crack, I can see the tall, straight figure of the man I married. He's standing a few feet back from the canvas, his arms crossed, tapping the handle of his paintbrush against his forearm. His face twists in consternation. After a few moments of deliberation, he dips the brush into the blue paint and makes a single stroke. He steps back again and appraises his work. No, that's not right. Not right at all. This is more difficult than I expected. I'm surprised. Morgan is rarely so hesitant with the brush. Hey, what do you think? A jolt of shock runs through me when I hear him call out to me. I had no idea he noticed my presence. After all, he's not facing me. Instead, he's looking out the window, the dim afternoon light casting harsh shadows on his back. Not answering me? Sorry, I didn't want to bother you while you were concentrating. Hello? He has paint on his pants. I just saw before the interface went up. Anyways, he turns around, fast as a whip. Fast as a whip? As fast as a whip, yep. His eyes are wide with... No, that can't be right. Why would he be scared to see me? His face quickly relaxes. Do you think I didn't notice you spying on me? Is something the matter? I gingerly open the door and step inside. No, I wanted to see you. I just wanted to see you. Blush. Oh, is that so? His voice is warm with fondness. Is the writing not going well? Not really. His face softens. I'm having some trouble too. The brush isn't moving as smoothly as I'd like. How fun. I cast a glance at the canvas before quickly averting my gaze. Even though the painting that Morgan has toiled over for weeks is visually stunning, for some reason it stirs a strange feeling in my gut. My eyes wander around the studio. I'm struck by how bare it is, the white walls staring at me like an accusation. I've come in here a few times since we moved to the island, but I've never noticed the emptiness before. When we lived in the city, Morgan's studio was never this barren. He always had at least half a dozen paintings, both finished products and works in progress, propped up against the walls. Now the only canvas with any color on it is the one that he's keeping on his easel. The rest are unused. What happened to all of your paintings? It was getting a little crowded in here, so I moved them all to the storage room. I'm surprised. Morgan never liked working in an empty space. It was too sterile for him. Being surrounded by reminders of what he had created and what he had yet to create inspired him a lot, or so he told me. My husband thumbs his chin thoughtfully. I have an idea. Why don't we paint together? Together? Just something small. We can use some of the canvas panels that I use for practice. We haven't done much together lately. Sometimes I miss you. We're here together every day, but you're in your separate spaces. Yeah. I want them to get along, but I'm scared, guys. Okay. I understand that. Morgan and I certainly see enough of each other. We probably couldn't see more of each other if we tried. But all of our time lately has seemed so empty. Hollow interactions pasted in the cracks between our other tasks. Meals and chores and time spent on the couch at the end of the day. All things that we do together simply because it would be more effort to do them apart. It used to be different when we were students, when we had to make plans to see each other. Every moment felt special, like precious drops of water in the desert. Now we're drowning. I smile and try to sound as upbeat as I can. That sounds fun. I've been wanting to try my hand at painting again. Morgan lays a canvas panel out on a large piece of cardboard and props it against the easel. Since we don't want to wait for things to dry, let's use acrylics. I'm a fan of acrylic paint, thank you. Should be a little easier to work with, too. He cleans up his oil paints and fetches his acrylics. When he's finished, he hands me the palette and a medium-sized brush. I brandish my new weapon, making a few mock strokes in front of the canvas as I plan my masterpiece. I already know what I'll paint, something beautiful and stunning that will even impress Morgan. Although those hopes are quickly dashed. While I'm mixing my colors in the palette, they turn murkier and murkier. In the past, my husband has warned me about mixing too many colors about a dozen times, but like Icarus, I do not heed his warning. At the end of it all, I have a very nice brown color. I sigh. The plans for my masterpiece would have to be scrapped. A few minutes later, my husband peers over at my canvas. What face you're making. That's a very nice potato. It's a dog. It's a very nice dog. Is that blood dripping out of its mouth? Is it a vampire? That was supposed to be a smile. Well, it's a terrifying, smiling dog, but it is an excellent vampire potato. This is cute though. Just an FYI, I'm really glad that they are painting together. I playfully shove my chuckling husband so hard that he wobbles to the side and has to catch himself from falling. Here, I have an idea. I'll sketch something in pencil and you can paint it. What do you think? It's easier when you have a sketch to work off of rather than painting freehand. Okay. I feel like an elementary schooler in their first art class, but after I cast an exhausted glance at my potato, I can't refuse. What do you want to paint? Let's go with the fruit. Fruits are common for novice painters, right? Like still life? Alright. He sets the canvas on his work table, turning it over so that he's drawing on the opposite side of the potato. He starts to lightly sketch with a pencil, his hand gliding over the white surface. It only takes him a few minutes to finish. How is this? I lean closer to take a look. The half-moon slice of a watermelon stares up at me. I'm a bit surprised. Although he'll gladly devour almost any fruit, Morgan has never been a huge fan of watermelon. He always gets a bit embarrassed when he has to spit the seeds out. But do we like watermelon? Because maybe he made it because he's like, well, my partner likes watermelon. I like watermelon personally, but not everyone has to like it. It looks good. He places the pan on the easel again. He also cleans out my beautifully brown palette and adds some fresh paint for me. Thank you. I raise my brush and get to work. The process is much easier with my husband's sketch to guide me. I don't have to worry about the shape or the proportions, so I can just focus on coloring. My second attempt turns out far better than the first. You can actually tell what it's supposed to be this time. After I'm done, we continue, with Morgan making sketches for me to paint. Oh, cute. Soon the canvas is filled to the brim with various doodles. When it's full, my husband peers out the window, admiring the sea as it crests, the sun, as it crests the surface of the ocean. Oh, I should start preparing dinner soon. The rosy hues of the setting sun have filled the studio, announcing the arrival of the evening. It's a cliché, but I can't help but wonder where the time went. I had been having so much fun that the hours seemed to pass by in a matter of minutes. Already? Should we do one more? I nod enthusiastically. He replaces the panel with another slightly smaller one. What do you want to paint? I think I want to tackle a flower this time. How about your favorite flower? A sea lavender flower. I don't even know what a sea lavender... Personally, I don't know what a sea lavender looks like. How about sea lavender? I thought that if we're going to make new mugs, then I should practice. Maybe I can paint you better flowers this time. Morgan's eyes widen in surprise. Oh, and I was looking forward to another seaweed mug. Even though he meant the comment to be a quizzing quip, the sarcasm is overtaken by the warm affection that permeates his voice. Sea lavender is a relatively complicated shape, so it takes him a while to finish the sketch. When he's done, I take up my brush again, brimming with renewed vigor. Determined to make this one my masterpiece, I carefully paint in the base colors, purple and white for the flowers, yellow for a sandy backdrop, and a bright blue for the sky overhead. After that, I carefully add in lighting and shading, tracing my brush along the dark areas, just like how Morgan taught me. In the end, my sea lavender still ends up looking like seaweed, but at the very least, it's prettier seaweed than what I had painted in high school. I actually need to look up what this sea lavender looks like properly, besides what I'm being shown right now. But cute. As I wipe off my hands, my husband admires my painting. It looks good. I think I'll put it up in my room. No! My refusal shoots out as fast as a bullet. Why not? It's your masterpiece that you spent a whole 30 minutes on. Why shouldn't I keep such a work of art? Because it's ugly. Really? I think it's charming. Why we zoom in out? Oh, cute. My silence is loud. It says, and I think you're a liar. He considers the painting again. Well, it's your ugly, and your ugly is still beautiful to me. I groan inwardly makes me laugh, but it's cute. It's hard to be mad at my husband, even when he starts spilling silly, cheesy lines like this, because he spouts them with complete, utter sincerity. But if you really don't want me to keep it, I won't. You can keep it. Aw, you remembered. Give your husband a nice present. Yay! I can practically hear him giggling to himself, reveling in his victory. Fine, be happy, cutie. After I hand him the apron, I head back upstairs to try to get a few words down while Morgan prepares dinner. I only end up writing another few hundred words before my husband calls me back downstairs. We continue chatting merrily about our painting session as we enjoy the meal. My chest still feels light when the sky is completely dark, and Morgan gets up from the couch to head down to the hall to the guest bedroom. Wait. He pauses. Do you want to sleep in the primary tonight? My husband's eyes widen. We used to sleep in the same bedroom, but since I always seem to write better in the quiet of the night, my schedule has always been frightfully irregular. I was gonna say, it seems like the painting he's like, oh, I want to put it in my room, but I was like, I thought you guys I would assume not every couple has a shared room, or you can have your own spaces. If anything, I thought for the painting that she's just made him, I thought maybe it would go in the studio, but then it said my room, and I'm like, oh. Again, you can be married and have a good relationship and be in separate rooms, obviously, but things are changing tonight for the sleeping arrangements, at least. Back when we lived in an apartment in the city, I would work in the living room and sleep on the couch to avoid waking Morgan during my late-night work sessions. Shortly after we came to the island, those late nights started to happen every day when I had the energy to work. Eventually, I proposed sleeping in separate bedrooms altogether. My husband wasn't happy, but he didn't protest. I offered him the primary, but he opted for the guest bedroom, saying that he liked the view from there, though I know that he was just being considerate. We haven't slept together since then. And when was that? I assume that was earlier on when he moved in. Why all of a sudden? Did you want to... Blushing. Heat explodes in my face at the implication. We haven't slept in the same bed for months, let alone slept together. No, it's not that. Not that I don't want to, but it's not that I don't find my husband attractive, far from it. But with everything that has been going on in my personal life and with our relationship, the thought of being intimate brings a sense of discomfort that I'm not ready to deal with. Fair. You don't need to explain. I understand. Although Morgan's unconditional tolerance annoys me sometimes, I'm grateful for it in this instance. He always seems to know when I don't want to explain something. I just... I'm planning on sleeping early tonight. I thought we were just gonna say we wanted to, be in the same bed. I don't know, cuddle or something. I don't know. Not that you have to, but, I was thinking about the boat thing. What about the boat thing? What specifically by... This is sometimes where when I pick choices, I'm like, oh, I as the reader, the player, try to guess what the context is. And sometimes I don't know. I want to ask about... I want to pick the boat thing. The boat thing, so I want to make sure that you are okay type of a thing. Okay. Because that's worrisome. And that shows we care. I hope. I'll be sleeping early tonight, and I thought after what you told me about the boats and all, that you might want to go to sleep and know I'm there or something. Oh, mm-hmm. As I speak, my words get more and more jumbled as I realize how silly I sound. Morgan smiles warmly and he's blushing. Yes, I'd love that. And also he kind of mentioned like on the day before in the video before that sometimes he worries like because she's up alone in the room and when he can't like see us, then like feels very worried even though he knows we're there. So this is good. I think this is good. Let's we're doing our best. Okay. Um After we both brush, Morgan joins me in my room. We spend some time sitting in bed, reading side by side. My husband has his nose buried in some non-fiction book about war crimes, while I peruse one of my favorite classic fantasy novels. I only get a couple pages through the protagonist's daring escape from a band of vicious mermaids when my eyes start to droop. I shut my book before I doze off. Going to sleep now? I nod, burying myself under the covers and shutting my eyes. I can hear the soft thud as he puts his book on the table and click as he shuts off the light. Good night. Good night. Even though I was about to drift off a minute ago, in the dark, I'm suddenly alert. I'm oddly aware of Morgan's presence in the bed, the soft sounds as he breathes in and out, the way he shifts and makes the sheets rustle. The realization tastes bitter, knowing that simply sleeping with my husband makes me so nervous now. I roll onto my side, facing away from him. My heartbeat quickens as the mattress creaks. It dips as Morgan settles next to me. He doesn't hug me. Instead, he just comes in close, so that our bodies barely brush together. I feel like I have to be quiet, but I'm the one playing this right now. Like, I'm like, oh my god, it's at night. This is like a very, like, interesting moment. Fragile moment, even. Okay, gotta focus. I can feel the rush of breath against the back of my neck as he speaks. It's surprisingly cold, making my exposed skin tingle. He still smells of salt water. Still? I'm so happy that you let me sleep here tonight. I'm happy too? I'm happy too. That's a lie. I don't feel happy, though I don't feel particularly unhappy either. Should we have pretended to be asleep? I don't know. Sometimes I also don't get a good read on like the MC what they feel. I'm so sorry. So sorry, girl. I just feel self-conscious, as if Morgan and I are two puzzle pieces that I'm trying to put together. I know that we used to fit before. Now I have to press the pieces, forcing them into a cohesive whole. I love you. Sleep well. Before I can reply, my husband retreats to the other side of the bed. I can still detect the faint smell of salt water in the air. I close my eyes and imagine that I'm floating on the surface of a dark and distant sea. We have another headache? What's going on? Gosh, I really feel for her. Also, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about. So maybe it is, like, maybe we're just drifting apart, like, as married people, we're drifting apart from each other, and that's kind of what's happening, instead of, again, what I mentioned, something more supernatural. Not that it can't be well, I don't think it's sinister. It could be sinister still, but, like, who knows? But maybe it's just something as commonplace as that, which is also a fair thing to explore, and I think is really interesting. Anyways, at some point, I drift off to sleep, only to awaken with a throbbing headache. My brain feels as if it's banging at the inside of my skull, like a petulant neighbor. I press my fingers against my temples, hoping that I'll be able to pressure the pain into submission. My efforts fail miserably. It's still dark. I was probably only asleep for a few hours. I turn in bed, but I can't see the familiar shape of my husband's shadow on the other side of the mattress. Did he get up? I struggle, my head murky from sleep. I struggle up, rather. The wooden floorboards are chilly underneath my feet as I make my way to the bathroom. As soon as I flip the light switch, I instinctively close my eyes. After I've adjusted to the blindingly bright light, I fish around in the medicine cabinet for the painkillers. I down a couple of tablets, then I shake the strangely light container. The 3 remaining pills rattle noisily around the bottom. That's odd. I took some painkillers for a headache around a week ago, and at that time, I could have sworn that the bottle was nearly full. Did Morgan take them? There's no way. There were almost 200 tablets. Besides, my husband's conscientiousness always compels him to put out refills if he notices that we're getting low on anything. Maybe he forgot. He has been absent-minded lately. I kneel down and open the cabinet underneath the sink. We keep extras of most of the common medications there. Painkillers, cold medicines, antacids. Where is it? The cabinet underneath the sink is stocked full of items. I sigh and rummage through them. A few minutes later, I start tossing out items onto the floor around me in frustration, though I know I'll have to put them back later. Toilet paper, shampoo and conditioner, hand soap and hand sanitizer, spray bottles of bathroom cleaner, toilet bowl cleaner, toothpaste and floss, first aid kit. It's not here. There isn't a single bottle of acetaminophen under the sink. In fact, there aren't any pill bottles under the sink. Well, last night, when we thought we saw our husband just, using the bathroom like a normal person, there was that image of him like with pills and kind of shaking them out, I guess is what I would say given this new context. Why would he get rid of them? I stand and throw open the medicine cabinet. All the medications are still there. I grab the aspirin and look inside. Again, 5 pills. Every single bottle of medication is light. Too light. When I unscrew each of them, I'm met with a familiar sight. 5 lonely pills rolling around the bottom of the container. I mean, 5 also coincides with number of days we would have if this game again is set in a week. Not that that is normal context for everyday living, but I'm trying to figure out what 5 signifies here. The laxatives, the antacids, the sleeping pills, even the bottle of allergy medicine only has 5 tablets in it. The packets of cold medication in the drawers have also been neatly torn apart, leaving 5 capsules in the boxes. Okay. Cold realization dawns on me as my mind drifts back to last night. I wasn't sure if we were going to remember. Morgan wasn't throwing away jelly beans. He was throwing away pills. He went into every single bottle we owned and counted out 5 pills each, flushing the rest down the toilet. Why did he... All right, I can understand why he threw them out. Huh? Why? I can't blame him. The memory is not my conscience. Still, why did he lie? This morning I asked him about it, point blank. What were you doing last night? And he didn't just avoid the question. He denied that he had been really awake at all. He said that I was dreaming. Why would he do that? Morgan doesn't lie to me. Throughout our entire relationship, we've never been seriously dishonest with each other. Even with the little things, instead of saying that he was too busy to do the laundry, my husband would say frankly that he forgot. When I introduced him to a book series that I loved, he said that he wasn't a fan. Morgan has always been comfortable enough with me to be completely truthful. He knows that our relationship won't waver no matter what he has to say. Or that's how it used to be, at least. My chest aches. Does my husband not trust me enough to be honest with me anymore? What are these? Okay, we're finished the third day. I don't know what this 42% one is supposed to be. Like, maybe it's a keyhole. Like one of those symbols if you draw like you draw like a circle around it. This one's like a swan. Is that a swan? This one's an anchor. I'm guessing. 9 years ago. Okay, let's do this one and then I can call it. Okay, so this is, I'm assuming we've left high school and we started college, if we're following the quote-unquote traditional timeline. I jog up the stairs 2 steps at a time, my shoes squeaking against the vinyl flooring. The air in the art building is heavy with the scent of paint and chemical solvents. At this time of day, it's almost completely deserted. Most of the students have gone to the cafeteria for dinner. I usually wait for Morgan on the curb outside of his building, but I decided to surprise him this time. He showed me the way to his studio once or twice. I analyze the doors as I pass them, trying to remember the correct one, when I hear his voice. Pass me the brush soap, will you? I go to the door. I'm about to open it when I hear another voice. Hey, Morgan, you're dating that author, right? The one who got published when they were 18. I freeze. They're talking about me. How do you know that? Everyone has seen her coming up around to pick you up after class. Yeah. Although she's not 18 anymore. We started dating when we were juniors in high school. I was actually the first person who got to read Moon Crossing. My boyfriend's voice lifts with pride. Right, Moon Crossing. I read that. It was pretty good. A lot of weird names, but the time travel is awesome. I heard that a trilogy's already lined up, and they already bought the rights for a TV series. I can't believe your luck. You've really got it made, pegging someone like that when you were still in high school before she even got famous. We're not like that. I'm proud of her, that's all. She's been working so hard on her writing ever since I first met her. Oh, Morgan over here with this little hair tie. Cute. Still, don't be too disappointed if, stuff happens. You know how it goes, yeah? How it goes? The question is a little pointed, like the tip of a dart. You know, a person gets famous and the next minute they're dropping their old partner like a hot potato. Although we made a potato vampire earlier. Doesn't that mostly happen with old guys who have a midlife crisis and want younger wives? I don't really think that applies here. I'm not saying that I want this to happen, but like I don't see why it wouldn't happen with like also older women. Though it doesn't seem as likely given what we see, but it's not impossible either. But I also wouldn't put it in his head. Why are we worrying about this? Well, it's like entering a new stage of society. You need to get together with someone who's wealthy and famous too. Someone who will give you good photos for the paparazzi. Not true. A sticky, uncomfortable feeling stirs in my insides. Why are they talking about me like that? They don't know me. They've never even met me. Morgan is plenty handsome already. He doesn't need to worry about that sort of stuff. Right, Morgan? The boy laughs. The slimy cackle hangs uncomfortably in the air. Just make yourself into the finest husband in the world and you won't have to worry about a thing. Huh. You might be right. Guess I should learn to make toast without burning it. You can do it, man. I mean, that's definitely annoying, but maybe this is... Because earlier our character was saying, like, on the first, like, day 2 / the first day, that, like, he wasn't usually like this, but when we, like, started living together, he, like, took care of, like, everything. So I'm wondering what's happening. Also, I'm still wondering, like, why would she understand about the pills? Like, I can see maybe some types of pills, like maybe over reliance on it, but like, I need more information. Even then, like, I don't know. I still want information. Anyways, as the conversation wanders to their school assignments, I tiptoe away and hide around the corner until I hear the door creak, the boys' obnoxious laughter and the girls' annoyed comments fade down the hallway until they're nothing more than whispers. I linger in my hiding place for a few more minutes. My anxiety tugs at my sleeve, urging me to leave. For some reason, I don't really want to see Morgan's face. No, that's not right. I came all this way to see him. I return to the door. I hesitate for a moment before pulling it open. Hey. Aw, cute. As soon as he hears the door open, Morgan turns. His face brightens when he sees me, his lips curving into a slight smile. As soon as he... Oh, yep. He's covered in paint. Marie. I try to sound cheery and nonchalant as if I hadn't heard a word that Morgan exchanged with his classmates. But as soon as I see my boyfriend, a dark pall falls over the room, 1,000 needles pricking my skin. How can he wear that sort of expression? Right after he finished gossiping about me like I was some kind of tabloid headline. Okay, yeah, I had the same question. You're right. As if I was one of those self-obsessed billionaires who would throw him away like trash now that I was famous. Why did you let him talk about us like that, Morgan? Why did you agree? Very valid questions. I also would like to say that I could see where maybe Morgan's coming from in the sense of, like, maybe this is just a person or people that he knows are difficult to, like, talk to, and so it's not like he could have expended some energy to, like, tell them otherwise, but maybe he knows it's not worth it, or maybe, you know, this is a reflection of, like, how he really feels. I don't know. Not that I you know, if anything, I want to believe our character. I don't, even though I am trying to, like, give lots of benefit of doubt to Morgan, I do feel like, I don't know this man. I personally don't know this man, so me, Marie Blue Angel, not Marie in the game, so I'm curious. Do you really think that? About me? About us? Is something the matter? Huh? What? Oh, sorry. You look a little down, that's all. I thought that maybe something happened. No. The word slips out of my mouth before I can catch it. Morgan is always asking that. Is something the matter? Are you okay? He says it so much that denial has become second nature to me, as if I'm a program designed to convince others of my own reliability. Now that I've already said that nothing is wrong, I can't immediately take it back. I mean, it probably is a good time to take it back. I tell myself to let it go. Things like this happen. If I start stirring up trouble over every little thing that upsets me, then we'll spend our entire time fighting. And I don't want that. But if you if you don't talk about it, things can fester. That's not good either. Morgan probably felt awkward and agreed so that he wouldn't start a fight with the other boy. It's not a big deal. I've just got to finish cleaning up, and then we can go. I nod and sit on the stool in front of my boyfriend's canvas. He busies himself cleaning off paintbrushes in the sink. My eyes wander to his newest work. The last time I saw it, it was nothing but a pencil sketch on the canvas. Now it's brimming with color. A clear blue sky hovers at the top of the painting, a couple of clouds hanging in the air. The horizon is highlighted in pale orange, a dark sea bobs in the middle of the canvas. Creamy sand frames the bottom, already dyed slightly yellow, ready to greet the sun. There's something white lying on the sand that I don't recognize. What is that? What's that? I point to the bottom left corner of the painting. A faint white cloth lies half buried in the sand, barely noticeable at first glance. Morgan comes to peer closer as he wiped excess moisture from the brushes. Oh, what is that exactly? His question sounds genuine, as if someone else stole into the studio and painted this strange white cloth in his absence. Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. He chuckles to himself. It's a warm, slightly self-deprecating sound. I thought it might be a bridal veil. Like, this bride was about to be happily married, and all of a sudden, she's disappeared, gone into the sea. And the only thing that washes up on shore is her white veil. Did she fall? Oh, I thought this was us. Did she fall? Was she pushed? Did she jump because she realized she didn't want to be married after all? Or maybe her partner broke up with her at the altar and she fell into despair. I'm surprised by Morgan's answers. Why are all the possibilities so macabre? He does like tragedies, but I appreciate the painting again. The warm colors, the gentle breeze tickling the flowers, the calm surface of the sea, almost as smooth as a pane of glass. Such sad stories don't suit this painting. Not a painting that Morgan made. Maybe she married the god. Maybe she married a god of the sea. They had their wedding on the shore, and when the god tossed her veil back and kissed her, she gained the ability to breathe underwater. Then she threw the veil onto the sand and dove into the depths with her beloved, never to return. How about that? Morgan thumbs his chin thoughtfully before nodding. His smile is as soft as the touch of a feather. I like that. I like it a lot. Okay. Oh god. These guys they're stressing me out. Okay. Well, I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. I'm interested a lot about what we just witnessed 9 years ago. I'm curious. I mean, I could get why our character didn't ask Morgan, but I do think it was important to ask so that miscommunication wouldn't come up later on, whether it did or not, or it's coming up now. I also think that it is interesting that Morgan has these types of paintings. Like, so this is like 2 for 2 in the flashbacks, at least, where we're seeing him paint more it's like somber stuff, which is like perfectly fine. You don't need to paint like super positive, cheery things, I think, at all, if ever. So, but I'm just curious how that kind of ties into the story that we're seeing here. But so far, I'm not sure. If you're watching, and you have your own thoughts about it, I'd love to hear any theories you have going on. Though, again, we're going to have to wait a bit until this is out in full. But I really hope it comes out soon, which I believe it will, because, I mean, like, soon by, like, whenever the game dev is ready, but I will be keeping an eye out for this one. But I'm excited because there's one more day in this demo, and I'm assuming we get a little bit more, even a little bit more, than we did today. So anyways, thank you so much for watching and joining me. If you like the video, please press the like button. If you'd like to see more of My Husband is a Stranger, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell for when I post another video. Yeah, thank you so much again, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye!